Yes, Justin Bourque, the person that everybody is talking about right now in Canada. If you have been paying attention, Justin Bourque recently killed 3 police officers and injured 2 others. Now this story is still developing. He's just been caught, so there's not a lot of information available at this time. However, I do want to give you some stuff that's not making it into the mainstream media, but it's very strange and a bit sketchy. But first, let's go over what happened with the guy. Apparently, because we don't have all the information yet, he decided to just go for a walk with 2 assault rifles. Now, naturally, somebody walking around in fatigues and full military gear and 2 assault rifles is going to attract the attention of police. Somebody called the cops that this guy was walking around. Now, as to why he was walking around, we actually don't know yet. There's been no statement by him or anyone who knows him yet as to, why he was doing it. Now, the police obviously approached him and asked him what he was doing. This resulted in a shootout, and the witnesses to that shooting said that, it sounded like firecrackers suddenly went off and everything like that.
Jesus Christ. Do you see him? Oh my God, I didn't know it. Was I that? Go down.
He shot him.
Oh
he
my
shot
God.
the fucking cops.
He shot the cop?
911.
Oh my God, go 911.
Now, the really interesting part about this is that the witnesses say that he told them to get out of the way and suggested that they leave for their own protection. Now, somebody who just goes out and starts shooting people, that doesn't sound like that kind of person at all. It sounds like this guy had specific targets, and there was specific people that he wanted to get. Not perhaps by name, but given the fact he did kill 3 police officers and injure 2 others, and he didn't shoot at anybody else, and deliberately got other people out of the way so they wouldn't be injured, leads me to believe that he was probably not crazy. He wanted to kill police for some reason. So far, nobody has given any indication that this guy had some kind of mental illness. I even went through his YouTube channel and he just seems like a regular guy. I mean, maybe something's going to come out later that I'm not aware of right now, that the public's not aware of right now. But as it stands right now, his actions don't seem to be one of that of a crazy guy. He seems to have deliberately targeted police for a shooting. Now after this, a huge manhunt went out because he went on the lam. He ran off into the woods and he stayed there. And he stayed in the forest, the trees of Moncton for, I think, maybe like 24 hours or something. Either like one day. And then eventually, he turned himself in. Like he just went down and said, "I'm Justin Bourque. I give up." Just like that. He killed 3 cops and then he just turns himself in. So clearly this is not Dorner 2.0. This guy got scared and turned himself in. I mean, that's like really strange to me. If you kill a cop, you kind of have to go down in a blaze of glory, because if you don't die defending yourself from police, the police are basically going to kill you. And I'm pretty sure that, not 100%, but something's going to happen to this guy between now and when he's sentenced to prison, assuming he doesn't mysteriously die in prison. It doesn't make sense to me. If I had just killed 3 cops, the last thing I want to do is end up in the hands of those same cops. I want to step away from the story for a second, as I've been listening to the radio and hearing everybody talking about Justin Bourque and what he did. And everybody just constantly on him all the time. He's this and that, we should kill him, the cops should kill him. dot dot dot, he's a villain, he's all this and all that, and they keep going over again how these cops had families, how, you know, X guy was, you know, so far away from retirement, these people are innocent, these cops are innocent victims and all that. And I remember thinking, where is this outrage when the cops kill an innocent person? When that kid was killed on a TTC car, when he was shot so many goddamn times, where was the outrage? Every time the police kill an innocent person, where is that outrage? It's nowhere. And I'm not even talking mostly about regular everyday people, which are guilty of this as well. The media is going on and on about this poor guy's family, how this was so terrible, but they give nowhere near any of this when the police kill somebody. It's a huge double standard. It's just absolutely ridiculous. Now, we don't know why Justin Bourque killed the police. We know absolutely nothing as to his motivations by the time this video was recorded. But there's an automatic assumption that he's done something wrong. Like, what he's done is not justified. He may have actually a very, very good reason for doing so. Whenever the police do something, whenever the police kill somebody, it's always a really good reason for doing so. It's always assumed that there's this good reason why they did it, and it was just part of their job, and they were just doing their duty. I can't help but notice the double standard here. I mean, it should be obvious at this point that I'm no fan of the police, and I never will be. But I'm just pointing out the double standard here. Police are always assumed to be innocent of the people they kill, even when those people turn out to be completely innocent people. But anybody kills a cop, they're automatically guilty and have had no reason for doing so. I mean, it's not like the police have ever done anything to engender such hostility towards them, right? But I think I may have found some kind of connection. I spoke to a couple people, and there's a guy by the name of Daniel Levesque. Now, last year, Daniel Levesque was killed by RCMP officers. The people that Bourque killed were also RCMP officers. Now, the circumstances around Levesque's killing are very, very strange. Apparently, he didn't die of the gunshots that he received from police. He died of stab wounds he received beforehand. And the question as to how these stab wounds got there, we don't know. I mean, of course, when the RCMP investigated themselves, no conflict of interest apparently nobody noticed that, they determined that the other RCMP officers didn't do anything wrong. But there still leaves the question as to why somebody who was dying of stab wounds was shot. And there's a kind of a big question there that's left completely unanswered. Well, what happened here? You know, what took place? And nobody seemed to have answered that question. That investigation into Levesque's killing was concluded a week from Friday. Meaning, Justin Bourque went on a shooting almost right after the conclusion of that investigation that cleared the RCMP officers of having done anything. Now, what makes this interesting is that there is a rumor, and I stress this is a rumor. I cannot verify it, and maybe we'll find out more in the future, that Bourque knew Levesque, and that Levesque might have been his friend. Now, let me ask you this. Let's say it is as I'm suggesting that it appears. You have a friend who's killed by police in a very suspicious manner. You sit there and you wait through the entire investigation, and then you find out that the officers who killed him get off. I'm not suggesting that's what happened. I'm suggesting this might be the way that Justin Bourque saw it, if this is what happened. I am speculating here because nothing's proven. I know that if it was my friend, I would definitely want blood. But I know that I would want revenge. So I can't really expect that nobody else wouldn't want revenge. I think that puts a very interesting context on it. And I think it is an important question to ask when we consider that we don't know what Bourque's motivations were. And I think it's also important when we see that I think it's very clear that Bourque was not mentally disturbed. I don't think he was. Of course, we may find out things later, like maybe he had a huge history of mental illness and just the media hadn't picked up on it yet. I doubt that, given the fact that that's one of the first things that the media actually looks for. But then again, because this is still so early in what's happened, we don't know. We don't really know anything. I'm only offering this suggestion, this rumor, as to a possible motivation for it. I cannot verify that it's true. I can just say that if we look at this through Bourque's eyes, we might see that, and that this might have been what he would have done. And this would provide an explanation as to why he did it without being crazy. I mean, you don't have to be crazy to want revenge. Wanting revenge is perfectly normal. It's the regular human desire, which doesn't presuppose a mental illness. And I think that could be a rational explanation as to what he did. And one last thing I want to say to the mainstream media, although they're never going to hear it, I just want to say it anyway. It is so irritating to have non-stop sympathy for the police. Non-stop. When they don't even show 1/10 of that to the people that they kill. The people they kill all the time. And every single injustice in humanity that's ever been carried out against the population by the police. They have nowhere near that kind of sympathy. I do remember a kid being killed by the Niagara Regional Police who was had some mental health issues, and while he was being restrained, he was killed. And the media, the police were cleared of wrongdoing by an internal investigation, though while the official investigation says that they didn't do anything, I tend not to believe them. The media, nothing for that kid. Nothing. He was pinned to the ground and basically killed without no fault by the police, even though he was known to police. I cannot wait until we get to the trial, and then we can hear from him, or at least his lawyer, why it is that he did what he did. He doesn't deny doing it. He turned himself in. But I really want to know why, so we can get the whole story. Because as of right now, it doesn't look like it's just some crazy who shot people. This was clearly very deliberately targeted towards police. And I would like some answers, because this story is actually very, very interesting. Aside from the fact that these kind of shootings don't happen in Canada very often. And when they do, they're very big news. Like I said, we're just going to have to wait and see what he says. Thank you for watching. Please comment and rate the video. If you liked it, hit subscribe or check out some of these other great videos. If you wish, share it on social media. And while you're at it, why don't you follow me on Twitter? And if you got time, go on over to the MRN bookstore and check out some of the latest books available.